It's down to the final two games of Euro 2024, and after last night's sensational semi-final action between Spain and France, we're hoping for more of the same tonight as the Netherlands take on England at the BVB Stadion in Dortmund. England, who made their first European Championships final in 2021, of which they lost, are looking for back-to-back final appearances and hoping to go one better than last time round. The Netherlands are themselves looking for only their second appearance in a European Championships final, with their only previous appearance coming in 1988 when they lifted the trophy 36 years ago. Both teams endured testing quarter-final ties to set up this matchup, England securing a Final Four spot on penalties, having played at a 1-1 draw in 120 minutes against Switzerland before scoring all 5 of their spot kicks. The Netherlands had to come from behind against Turkey to win 2-1 in booking their place in the semi-finals. Three-time champions Spain await the winner of this tie as they defeated two-time winners France last night in Munich. Les Bleus opened the scoring with their one and only open play goal of the tournament when Randall Kolo Muani headed in from Kylian Mbappe's chip cross into the box. La Roja then responded through a sublime effort from 16-year-old Lamine Yamal, who became the youngest player to score in a Euros finals in history at 16 years and 362 days. The comeback was complete when Danny Olmo's strike into the box deflected into the nets of Jules Koundé to give Spain the lead. That was enough for Luis de la Fuente's side, who also beat France in the knockouts en route to the last European Championships victory in 2012. We're down to just 3 teams. Who can lift this glorious trophy? In just 4 days, we will find out. Who will get across the line? Who will fall just short of a place in this showpiece event? The Euro 2024 final in Berlin. A very good evening. Welcome to Euro 2024 Live for our second semi-final with me, Kevin Ferris. A very good evening. Welcome to this one. It's the Netherlands against England in a matchup only befitting of a semi-final. Both sides have been hot and cold throughout the tournament so far. They'll be hoping they're on roaring form tonight as they look to face either winner of this one will face Spain in the final on Sunday. Let's have a look quickly at the fact files, as we call them, for this one, starting with the designated home side tonight, the Netherlands. They came through the group, finished third in Group D behind Austria and France. They came from behind to beat Poland on match day 1. They then drew 0-0 with France on match day 2 before being beaten by Austria 3-2 on match day 3 of the group. Their arguably best performance of the tournament so far came against Romania when they beat the Romanians 3-0 in the round of 16 before a comeback victory in the quarterfinals against Turkey, where they came from 1-0 down to take a 2-1 victory to get them to this point. England, well, they top their group. They top Group C after an opening day win against Serbia, their only win of the groups, followed by 2 back-to-back draws against Denmark and against Slovenia. Saw them finish top of a pretty drab group. But England didn't make it easy for themselves. They had needed extra time against Slovakia to get through the round of 16 after Jude Bellingham's 95th minute equalizer to take them to extra time before Harry Kane won the game, and Switzerland took the lead against them in the quarter-final. England equalised through Bukayo Saka in the 80th minute to bring it to extra time. It went all the way to penalties, and England emerging victorious on that front, winning 5-3 against the Swiss. These two sides have varying kind of expectations coming into this one. The Dutch won this tournament on German soil back in 1988. England looking for their first European final or international major tournament final on overseas territory. They've been to 2 previously, but both on English soil at Wembley. They'll be hoping that they can use the German history of the past to help them through and maybe get a bit of revenge on their old foes on their own turf. The Netherlands will be a tough task for England. They won't be easy, but no one's easy when it comes to the semi-final stages. Let's have a look at the teams then while we're waiting, while the national anthems are ongoing. And let's have a look then. Just one change for the Netherlands from their 2-1 win against Turkey. Ronald Koeman keeps Bart Verbruggen in his place in goal after that great save late on against Turkey to rescue that result. An unchanged back four of Denzel Dumfries, Stefan de Vrij, Virgil van Dijk and Nathan Ake continue in the back four. Sherdy Shoten and Tiani Reinders continue in defensive midfield alongside Xavi Simons in a more of attacking role. Cody Gakpo continues off the left, the joint top scorer in the tournament, could become the outright top scorer if he finds the net tonight. He was denied that by a harsh decision, shall we say, against Turkey, with that winning goal ultimately given as an own goal. Donyell Malen comes into the side as their only change from Steven Bergwijn, who started the previous game, and Memphis Depay continues up front for the Dutch. Bergwijn, who drops to the bench. For England, Jordan Pickford continues in goal. He's made a save and a penalty shootout at every major tournament he has been at for England. An incredible record, one of the best for England over the years, and they've had some quality keepers, but the weight seemingly lifted off his shoulders. You'll see the graphic there saying Bukayo Saka is the next named England player. You might think that's a bit strange, but England continuing with that back three, back five, with Saka playing the right wing back role. They've continued with the back three of Kyle Walker, John Stones and Mark Guehi comes back into the side after his suspension against Switzerland. Ezri Konsa dropping out. Kieran Trippier continues at left wing back. That's caused some problems. Declan Rice and Kobbie Mainoo continue in midfield with Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden, the two ahead of them, with Harry Kane, the captain, leading the line for England. More options off the bench, and a lot of them had an impact. A few of them taking a penalty in that shootout. They might need that again, and I would probably hedge my bets on England if it does go to penalties, but you never know. Anything can happen. It's the European Championship semi-final kick-off in Dortmund between the Netherlands and England. Is next. A very good evening and welcome to Euro 2024 Live here with me, Kevin Ferris, for our second live watch-along commentary of our semi-finals. Last night we got off to a cracking start between Spain and France, having all three goals scored inside 25 minutes to secure the victory for La Roja. And probably we witnessed one of the goals of the tournament last night, with Lamine Yamal's wonder effort finding the back of the nets. Ultimately, it will be down to who fights, who battles better, and ultimately who finds the net. That will be the difference. Seems pretty obvious, but sometimes it just has to be said. Pressure holds high on both teams. Well, who will rise above it and stand up and be counted? As we're underway then for this one. The Netherlands in their traditional orange, which there's a lot of orange inside this stadium. It's not the traditional colour inside this ground in the BVB Stadion, the home of Borussia Dortmund. It's usually a yellow wall to our left-hand side, but it's a orange wall tonight with the sea of orange behind that goal. As Gakpo wins the early free kick, but England in white and navy shorts, white shirts, navy shorts. So both sides with their home strips tonight. Hoping those traditional home colours can carry them across the line. It's a big moment for both teams, you know. I wouldn't be kind of on my own in saying that I wouldn't have put the Netherlands in the final four at the start of the tournament. The way they weren't convincing against Poland, they weren't massively threatening against France, and they were beaten by Austria. A lot of teams gave them no chance, maybe, to get to this position, but that's the threat, that's the quality of this tournament, and maybe just the luck of the draw sometimes. Maybe these two sides got the benefit of the doubt with the luck of the draw, but they've got to this point through hard fight and hard work. And two head coaches have experienced quite the high-pressured moments at the highest level as players in the European Championships. Ronald Koeman, of course, part of that 1988 winning Dutch team, and Gareth Southgate, of course, part of England's 1996 Euro 96 side. Got to the semi-final. He'd love to go to back-to-back finals as a manager with England. Gareth Southgate's, of course, heavily tipped as maybe his last tournament in charge of England. But if they win it, there might be a contract on the board, kind of on the table for him. The FA certainly wouldn't be rushing to get rid of him. We'll see, though. That's a long way away yet. A lot to talk about tonight. You know, England, that back three, said it was a lot more defensively solid. They looked more in control of the ball. And that system as a whole, they looked more kind of understanding what their roles and their positions and what kind of ideas they need to be introducing into the game, what passes they need to play, what runs they need to make. They look more fluid, England, in that game against Switzerland, and playing that back three. And ultimately, despite it being penalties, they did get the benefit of that heading through. And England get a free kick here, and it's Jordi Shoten giving away that free kick. Declan Rice will take. Well, he was going to take it. Laid it off to Mark Guehi. Of course, Guehi coming back into the side after suspended for the Switzerland game in the quarterfinals. Getting that accumulation of yellow cards. Ultimately, the England free kick taken short comes to nothing. Back out comes to Verbruggen. De Vrij. Down the right-hand side, comes in field to Shoten. And Depay coming deeper. Look at the spin it round the corner for Xavi Simons. First real attack here for the Netherlands. Trying to thread it through for Malen. And well seen out there. Great covering by Kyle Walker. And Mark Guehi there. Stepping across. Getting involved. And stopping Donyell Malen's run. Nice attack from the Netherlands. But well defended by England. That will be an early warning sign that nothing's a certainty. Have to be wary of those runners. Although here comes Jude Bellingham. Certainly scored a couple of crackers inside this stadium at club level. Kane, nice Saka. In the box he comes. Saka to lift it to the back post. De Vrij was up. Didn't cleanly clear it as Trippier brings it down the left. Rice. Mainu. Back to Declan Rice. Now Foden. And feed it down the left for Trippier, and the ball just a bit too late there from Phil Foden. Trippier just stepping offside. And free kick to go the way of the Dutch. I mean, he was miles offside there. Well, I have to say, both sets of fans noisy inside this stadium, but you would be a fool to say that England are outnumbering the Netherlands, because you would be outright wrong. 100,000 or so Dutch fans travelling across the short trip across the border into Germany from their home country. And they've come in their numbers and have certainly brought the colour and their dancing shoes with them. That wonderful anthem song that they've brought with them. We've all seen them shuffling from side to side, bouncing up and down to support their team. They'll certainly be jumping up and down and bouncing if their team can get to the final. Here's Cody Gakpo. Well beaten off the ball by Saka. As Gakpo tries to battle back as Harry Kane does get the ball off to Saka. Referee plays advantage. Saka running into no room there. Does give it back to Rice. Stones. The referee did well to play advantage there. There's been a lot of criticism, a lot of talk about the referee and his previous interactions with Jude Bellingham. Of course, Felix Fire was involved in a scandal back in the early 2000s that Jude Bellingham referenced in an interview when he was playing at Dortmund a few years ago, and was fined £40,000 for claiming that he was a match fixer. In quotes from Jude Bellingham. The referee officiating this game against the man who was very critical of him. Maybe rightfully so, who knows. Here's Dumfries. Flick it over the top. The run in behind, well battled, but Rice loses out in the middle, and the shot! Oh, what a goal! That is a banger from Xavi Simons. Fabulous goal. That is a rocket into the top left corner. Fabulous. Xavi Simons. He's one that's come under a lot of criticism for his poor performance against Turkey. Wasn't showing what he's got the quality to show. But there is a perfect example of the type of player that the Netherlands have in their ranks. Xavi Simons. That was fabulous. England flapping about at the back. Guehi tries to play it to Rice, just undercuts the pass. The challenge, fabulous initially by Simons, and then just strides forward, edge of the box. Loses his balance slightly when he takes it, he slips, but the ball just looping above Jordan Pickford into the top corner. That is wonderful. Perfect start for the Dutch, and certainly a wonder start for Xavi Simons. Number 7 scores in the 7th minute. Netherlands 1, England 0. England looking for a quick response as they've come forward really quickly here. All of a sudden, Bellingham trying to charge that one in, but well closed down. The Dutch now have something to hold on to, but it's still very early doors. We saw France score after 9 minutes last night and end up behind after 25. Nothing's a certainty, especially not being 1-0 up so early in a game. As England get the free kick here. Bellingham going down. I think the referee's called this for high boot challenge on Jude Bellingham. We'll see this again. From, I mean, that's a clash of heads. Yeah, he just went down there. Don't know where the high boot information came from. I do apologise, it was a clash of heads. Free kick anyway to England. 9 minutes gone. Netherlands 1, England 0. I would love a quick response. The Three Lions. Jody Schoten's just getting a quick check-up by the Dutch medical staff. So he was involved in that collision with Jude Bellingham. Bellingham is okay to continue. It's on the sidelines awaiting his return. There's a little clash there. I think it's drawn blood from Bellingham, but he's just being checked up upon. England get ready to take this free kick. They're waiting for the go-ahead from the referee, who's just checking up upon Schoten, who's also going to go to the sidelines. So both down to 10 for the moment after that clash of heads. But England with this set piece. Trippier and Foden over this one. Jude Bellingham shaking his head at something there. I don't know if it was the referee or what. I'll leave that to the spectators. Let's see then. England ready to take this from about 27 yards. Foden lifts it in with the left foot. Headed away by Ake. And now Marlon trying to send Simons on the run. Saka in the cover. Wonderful from Bukayo Saka. Lovely bit of skill. Gets England on the front foot. Challenged by Gakpo. Just a bit too physical there from the Liverpool man against the Arsenal man. Yeah, just a bit too much there from Gakpo slightly. Will be an England free kick. Another one for England. We had an electric start in Munich last night. So an absolute cracker of a game. If anything of the same here tonight would be fabulous. Already started well. Foden and Trippier over this one again. Trippier will whip this in. Back post. Rice to try and manoeuvre. And Van Dijk hooks it away clear. Well picked up by Declan Rice. The ball in. Wonderful. Rice unmarked at the back post. Tried to flick it back into the middle. And it just fell to Virgil van Dijk, who cleared it away for the Netherlands. Rice. Offside. Second phase of that throw-in. Trippier and Rice. There was an offside in there. Came to nothing. Again, Trippier just didn't get himself back onside, but he tried to go for the 1-2 with Declan Rice. It's the second time of the game he's been called offside, Kieran Trippier. And if you've been watching the podcast, you will know that my opinions on some of the personnel in England's team, maybe not suiting the system, maybe not getting the best out of the system, or even the position with the types of players. Although Harry Kane, decent effort. Well palmed away by Verbruggen. It's good work from England. They pressed it well down the left-hand side, and Harry Kane just dropping in, find the space in the middle, decided to take the strike. Wasn't going to test Verbruggen very much, but Verbruggen did parry it away for the throw-in. So they've now taken England. Rice. Guehi. On the left-hand side of Trippier. Back to Mark Guehi. Has to go all the way back to Jordan Pickford. He had that save in the shootout against Switzerland in the quarter-final. It's lovely from Guehi. Now Bellingham. As the Netherlands try and cover with Reinders. They give the ball away. Here's Saka in the box. Bukayo Saka still going, trying to eke the space. And now the reaction from Harry Kane, sees it over the bar. England maybe won a penalty there. Have to see the replay of it. To me, in first glance, it looked like there's nothing on Harry Kane there. Saka just trying to weave his way through. Run into a lot of orange bodies. And ultimately, Harry Kane did come in with a challenge. Dumfries may be slightly impeding him, but I don't think that's a penalty. That would be a bit harsh if that was given. Good reaction from Harry Kane after his earlier shot, but it's not a penalty. The referee this evening, as I said, has been under controversy and all the chat for the last few days since he was appointed as the referee. VAR were not going to do anything about that there. I just got confirmation there was nothing for that VAR thought they needed to check. So we will play on. Although it's now been told that there is a potential penalty check and the referee's going to the screen. So we were just told that VAR weren't looking at it. Now they have changed that. They are now looking at it and the referee's been sent straight to the screen. Let's see. Initially I didn't think it was a penalty. Let's see again. I mean, Kane has the strike. I mean, there is a slight touch from Dumfries, but I think that would be very harsh if that were to be given. Harry Kane gets his chance off. He's had the advantage of the moment. Yes, Dumfries does put his leg in the area, but he's trying to block the ball. And the decision is a penalty. The referee, seeing nothing wrong in normal time, but recommended to go to the screen and changes his decision. Penalty to England. Virgil van Dijk, the Dutch captain, over leading the charge of the arguments. I mean, I think it's very harsh. But I'm sure not a single England fan will care whether it was harsh or not. It's now Harry Kane's chance that he won the penalty, as Denzel Dumfries gets a yellow card as well. That insult to injury there for the Dutch right back. So Denzel Dumfries. And now it's Harry Kane to step up for England from the spot. He didn't take a penalty in the shootout. He was off the pitch at that time, but he has scored all of his last 9 penalties. Can he make a 10 out of 10 to get England back on terms in Dortmund? Harry Kane against the Brighton goalkeeper Bart Verbruggen for the Dutch. He's made a big save in the quarter-final for Verbruggen. He needs to make another one here. Harry Kane in his wake. Stepping up. England's captain. Scores! Harry Kane sneaks it in the left corner. Beats Bart Verbruggen, who dived the right way. But the accuracy and the quality of the penalty beat the Dutch keeper. And England are back level. Netherlands taking the early lead. And England from the spot, levelling the game. It's certainly game on. Said you couldn't take anything for granted. And England have not panicked when they've went behind before. And it was exactly the same again. Lovely finish with the right foot into the left corner from Harry Kane. Always curling away from Verbruggen. Fabulous penalty. There is no stopping that one from England's number 9. The Dutch may feel it was harsh, but ultimately, yeah, you go in for a challenge like that, you give the referee a question to answer. He went to the screen, changed his on-field decision, and gave England a chance from 12 yards, which we saw a few days ago. They have no problem converting, and especially not that man Harry Kane. He is officially now on 2 goals for England, and 2 very big ones. Here's Memphis Depay for the Dutch, looking to respond. Reinders. Gakpo charged out there by Walker. Gakpo's not seen a real touch of the ball at all tonight so far. Been well stopped down that left-hand side, whether it be Saka or Walker. They've got the better of him in the first 20 minutes or so. De Vrij to Xavi Simons. Give the Netherlands the lead. De Vrij now to Ake. Well, the Dutch have a lot of experience in their ranks. Despite taking the lead, they'll not worry that it's 1-1 or it's level. They'll not panic. They'll not stress. Neither will that man on the bench for them, Ronald Koeman, their head coach. He'll stay calm. That's what the big moments take. I have to say, both semi-finals, they're offering up goals. This is the 5th goal we've seen in the 2 semi-finals, and we still have another 70 minutes of this one to go. Not to curse it or jinx it or anything, but at least the defences are certainly not on top in this one anyway. None of the teams in the semi-finals keeping a clean sheet. It came at a point where the tournament was kind of at the start of games, teams were afraid to go and attack early, looking to just grow slowly into the game. And the many games, I mean, if you've been following us all the way through the tournament, you'll know that when we come into the round of 16 quarterfinals, it was a bit more tetchy, a bit more edgy. Teams were sitting maybe a 5-10 yards a bit deeper, not as kind of risky, shall we say, in their play. And I mean, sometimes that is unnecessary, but when you want to score goals, you have to take a couple of risks. And so far in the semi-finals, all 4 sides have taken good risks, and ultimately a lot of them paying off so far. At Lords in the chat says England got lucky with that. Well, sometimes you need a bit of luck in a semi-final or in any knockout game or in any tournament. Just get you that extra bit of motivation, help you across the line. Depay gonna spin it in through the middle, but well closed down by Guehi, and now Bellingham. Try to thread that one down the line. Bellingham does find its way to Foden. Kane. Here's Kobbie Mainoo. He'll have space to run forward. Plays it through for Phil Foden. Dribbling his way through. And it's kicked off the line by Denzel Dumfries. That was wonderful footwork from Phil Foden. Incredible. What are the chances of Dumfries being there at the right time? Right place, right time. Otherwise, that would have been 2-1 England. But off the line from Denzel Dumfries. Goodness me. Running at the defenders, England there, and almost getting a bit of joy. Here's Saka. Plays it out to Trippier. Trippier with a cut back into the box. Away by Shoughton. Back with Foden now. Rice. Out to the right-hand side. Relentless attacks from England as there's a second ball on the pitch, which means the attack will have to stop. Referee has nothing he can do about that. And it will be a uncontested drop ball for England now. Walker continues on that right flank. Nothing the referee could do about that one. England were in a fine bit of rhythm there in their attack. More promising signs that those little runs in behind, those kind of committed forward runs from players, both from midfield and further forward, are causing those early threats for England against the Dutch. Rice looking for the crossfield pass. Beautifully taken down by Walker. Back to Phil Foden. Now Mainu. Foden again. He's looking for an option, Phil Foden. Has to come back round the corner to Kobbie Mainu. Now Walker. Trying to squeeze it through. Foden. Bit annoyed at that pass as it was well charged down by the Dutch. But England maintaining possession at the moment. Rice. Mainu having to take a heavy touch, but gets past Reinders. A nice Saka on the turn. Squares it across. Finds Harry Kane who tried to spin, but well closed down. Again by the Dutch as Simons got back there. Verbruggen goes long. Targeting the run of Dumfries. And Rice heading that one to Harry Kane. As England again pick up the ball. Kane goes down a bit easily there as the Dutch pick the ball back up. Although that's a slight slip there from the back. Trying to see who it was. I think it might have been Dumfries, and Foden was almost in. Got on a bit of cover, and the Dutch just about survived, but goodness me. Now the side could hold on to possession there for a minute. Depay. To spin it in behind. Malen on the run. Gerhi to head it clear. Brought down by Reinders. Nice Simons. Looking for the cross. Blocked by Rice. Reinders takes it down again. Out to Dumfries on the right. Body's in the box. Dumfries not eyeing up the cross. Reinders. Now back to Dumfries. He will go for the cross, Dumfries, but well blocked by Kieran Trippier. It will be a Dutch throw. Look at this from Phil Foden a bit earlier on. The dribbling is absolutely sublime, but Dumfries, I mean, it's just halfway across the line, the ball. It's so close, yet so far for England. And they could have done a Spain, shall we say, in quick succession from 1-0 down to 2-1 up. But 1-1 it remains. Here's Gakpo. Ake, back out to Cody Gakpo on the left. Not given the time and space, and has to go back to his captain, Van Dijk. To De Vrij. Simons. Back to Stefan De Vrij. Xavi Simons again. Dutch calm in possession. England calm out of possession. And that kind of 5-2-3 out of possession. As the Dutch try and play their way around it. Depay oversteps it. Loses the ball to Bellingham. And now England want a counter. Saka crosses the halfway line. Space to break down the right. It's not in a hurry, Bukayo Saka. He measures it across to Kobbie Mainu. Just about keeps the ball. Walker to Mainu. Now into the space for Foden. He's got time and space on it. And Bellingham couldn't reach the ball there. It comes back to Verbruggen. Good recovering. But we're just seeing the chance again from Phil Foden. I mean, it's inches of a difference. And that could be huge. I mean, that's an incredible touch on the line. I mean, the confidence, after you've given away a penalty, the confidence to take a touch like that on your own goal line, knowing that if you don't get it right, it's heading into your own net. You've got to have some confidence for that. Here's Depay on the half turn. Memphis Depay feeds it for Malen. Malen, well charged down, but last touch an English one will be a Dutch corner. Great work. Again, nice infield run. Depay dropping a bit deeper, allowing those runners ahead of him. Threads it around John Stones into the path of Malen. Well charged down by Walker and Gerhi. But Malen making that infield diagonal run, stretching the England defence and getting the corner for his team. Getting them up the field. For the first corner of the game. Corner on the right hand side, and the Dutch standing in front of that orange wall Right-footed delivery into the box. Up for the header! Is off the crossbar by Dumfries. He's everywhere tonight. Great cross in. And up there got Dumfries. And it came crashing off the crossbar. That's a huge moment. I don't think Pickford was getting there. If it had just snuck behind under the goal or under the bar, but come crashing off the top of the bar and over for a goal kick. But I mean, Dumfries, he's been everywhere. Gave away a penalty, he's made a save off the line, and now he's had a chance hit the woodwork at the other end for his team. I mean, he's been all over the pitch, and he's got a yellow card as well. This was only played just under a half an hour. Bukayo Saka to Walker. Mainu. Walker back. It comes to Stones. And now Gurhey. You can certainly see England pressing a lot higher. Definitely seeing that. Players yards higher up the field for England. Stones. Back to Trippier on the left-hand side. Trippier to Foden. Back to Trippier. Bellingham wants the ball in behind. Trippier just lays it off. The short pass to Foden. Now Rice. Foden. Mainu. Decent football from England. Kane. Good combinations. Kane trying to find Bellingham. Well stopped by Van Dijk, but great challenge by Mainu to win it back. Walker. Now to Saka, down the right-hand side. Bukayo Saka chips it into the box. Just too much height on that one. Still alive, though. Trippier recovers. So England keep the attack on going. Rice. Makes that spin it out to the right. Saka to chest it down. Across to Phil Foden. Phil Foden will shoot! And he hits the post. Huge. That was another big moment in the game. Almost this identical to Lamine Yamal's technique. This one a lot less whip on the ball. Not as much curl. And it came crashing off the left upright. That's very close from Phil Foden. I mean, the chances created so early on. Fabulous so far. Verbruggen. Dumfries trying to win the header. Trippier got there ahead of him. As Rice's flick on. Cleared away by Van Dijk. So England have it at the back. 32 minutes gone. In Dortmund. Netherlands 1, England 1. The Dutch taking the lead from a wonderful effort by Xavi Simons. For England levelled from the penalty spot through Harry Kane. And we've already seen some other big chances. Dumfries hitting the crossbar. Just seen Phil Foden hit the post. He's already had one saved off the line, Foden. Had multiple good chances as Mainu gets the break of the ball. So the referee plays advantage. Mainu trying to lift it in behind, but Kane didn't make the run. And Verbruggen can gather. The referee just checking up upon one of the Dutch players. It's Memphis Depay. He doesn't look in a good state. He looks pretty glum there, Memphis Depay, which isn't a good sign. Hope he is okay. As Reinders is getting a bit of information from his head coach. Well, I said the Dutch didn't play as fluid or as fluently against Turkey as they did against Romania. Maybe a step up in opposition, but so far tonight, that strike from Xavi Simons adds them back to that level. That's fabulous. We've seen some beautiful goals in this tournament, but we've seen a mix of absolute bangers in the knockouts. Simons' effort will go up there with a couple of the best. Wonderful effort. Depay is still getting the treatment, and I think they're going to make this change now, the Netherlands. So I don't think Memphis Depay is going to continue. No, he's coming off, and it will be Veerman who's going to come on in his place. So Joey Veerman coming on, the PSV man, 25-year-old midfielder, is coming on then for the Netherlands, for Memphis Depay. So we'll see what adjustments that Ronald Koeman wants his team to make now, with Depay off from centre forward and Veerman maybe going to a 4-3-3 now. An extra body in there to help out with help Reinders and Schoten. Maybe just getting a bit overrun in midfield, the Netherlands at the moment, with the 4 bodies in there for England compared to their 2 initially. Maybe 3 at times with Simons, but the Dutch trying to add that extra stability in midfield. Mark Guehi, just over under 10 minutes to go in the first half. 1-1 here in Dortmund, the second of our semi-finals at Euro 2024. Spain await the winners. Will it be Spain-Netherlands or Spain-England as our Euro 2024 final matchup? We'll find out within the next 2 hours or so, definitely. England with pressing high again. Rice getting that pass off to Guehi. Guehi wide on the left. Now finds Bellingham. I'm going to try and find the space through the middle, but couldn't find it. And also couldn't get the pass out to Kieran Trippier. Just stepped a bit too far in, failed Trippier. And the ball spun past him and out for the throw-in to the Netherlands. Great work from Bellingham just to guide that ball past Schoten and out into the path of Trippier, but Trippier just too hot on his toes there. Gakpo winning the ball high for the Netherlands. England bodies retrieving back, but Gakpo holds up the ball. Can't find the pass. Well charged down there by the retreating Kobbie Mainoo as Rice carries the ball forward for England. As Foden spins it out to Saka. To Mainoo. Rice. Walker. Here's Phil Foden now. Driving to the edge of the box. Seen out well by the crowding of Dutch players. As England keep possession now. Rice. Wide to Trippier on the left. Back to Declan Rice. Lots of bodies up front for England. Slightly a bit struggling to find them at the moment, although patience is key. Foden. Now Trippier. Foden to Trippier again. England left wing back has to go all the way back to Jordan Pickford. Well, these two have met 22 previous times. Netherlands have won 7 of those meetings. England 6 and 9 draws, with England just pipping the post for the more goals with 31 to the Dutch's 29. Here's Walker. Into the box he comes. He's got options in there. Cuts it back for Saka. Lovely flick by Mainoo. And now Phil Foden. Shot. Trying to follow his captain and trying to squeeze it in the left corner, but well followed out by Bart Verbruggen, who gathers well, dives to his right and comfortably gathers. Certainly Foden up for it tonight. hasn't scored in the tournament yet. England just 3 goal scorers. Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham and Bukayo Saka. The 3 that have scored in normal time for England, excluding penalties of course. The ball chipped over the top. Gakpo was running in behind, but Stones headed it away. Rice. Back it comes to John Stones. Now Walker. Maybe a bit more patient in their passing now. Just 5 minutes or so until half time. We're still all square here in Dortmund. The ball comes out to the left hand side. Trippier with a nice flick. Finds Bellingham. Back to Kieran Trippier. Cuts it back into Harry Kane's path, who lifts it. Headed away by the opposing captain and Virgil van Dijk, but well worked by Mainu to steal it off Gakpo. And Mainu with a shot. Well charged down by Nathan Ake. It will be a throw into England on the right hand side. That was fabulous from Kobbie Mainu. Walker to Mainu. Now Saka was offside there, but the referee has waited for a second because the Dutch have just won the ball back. So play on. Here's Reinders. Back it comes to Stefan de Vrij. Virgil van Dijk now. The Netherlands would love a strong end to the half. And that was a wasteful pass by Xavi Simons. Just overhit to Denzel Dumfries. Goes out for an England throw. I mean, that's very wasteful, that, from the Netherlands. They haven't had much possession up the field as of recent. And when they do get the chance to get up the pitch, they've faltered the possession far too easily there. Harry Kane cuts very deep and plays it across to Kyle Walker. Stones. Cross now to Gehi. John Stones. Bellingham. Foden. Looking for options. Again, the Dutch out of possession look solid. And they're not given many spaces to run into or to roam. Since that change, bringing on Veerman, not seen very much of England charging through the middle. Dutch closing those spaces well. Bellingham charged down by de Vrij, but battled back to Jude Bellingham. Won the ball back. Tried to find Harry Kane. Well closed down by Van Dijk. That was wonderful from Bellingham when he just thought he lost the ball to de Vrij and battled well to win it back and got the ball in around the box. It's that drive, that desire to carve out a chance, to carve out something from your little few touches is type of passion and motivation that attackers need. Jude Bellingham's got that in abundance. Lovely feinted ball by Rice into the path of Foden. Now Bellingham out to the left for Trippier to occupy. Quickly followed by Dumfries and well charged down by Veerman, but back into the path of Rice. Walker out to Trippier. Now Bellingham on the left, up against Reinders. Bellingham using his feet to try and break away through. Closed down well. Trippier though gets it to Rice. Now Walker again. England upping the tempo slightly with this motion as it comes out to Harry Kane on the right wing. Saka now. Looking to drive across into the centre. Still going as Saka. Lays it off to Bellingham. Bellingham now to Trippier. Trippier with a cross. And Foden was in the middle, but Verbruggen got there first and gathered from the chipped cross from Kieran Trippier. Good combination from England. Ake. Nice feinted ball in behind for Veerman to make a forward run here for the Netherlands. Reinders. Schoten. Reinders again, as we will have 3 added minutes at the end of the first half. Surely the VAR check the majority of that additional time. Schoten. De Vrij. Across to Van Dijk. Van Dijk back to Bart Verbruggen. Well, England, I would say, and I'll analyse this at half-time, so do stay with us for the half-time analysis of this first 45 minutes or so, but I would say England will be pretty contented with their first half despite going behind. They've got back on level terms and they're very much in the game and creating half-decent efforts to try and get that second, but we'll see if they can find that second. Here's Simons. Right, Ake. Back to Xavi Simons. Schoten. Reinders. De Vrij. Now to Malen. Reinders. And to the right hand side for Dumfries. Nice combinations here from the Dutch. Although Dumfries has to go back to De Vrij. England occupying the space as well. Closing down those little gaps. Here is Denzel Dumfries. Tried to run in, failed. Closed down, but there to pick it up was Veerman, who keeps the attack alive. Just over a minute to go of the first half. Virgil van Dijk. Reinders. Back it comes again to De Vrij, all across the halfway line for the moment, the Dutch. As Van Dijk pushed a slight bit back. Feeds it out to the left-hand side now. Simons picks it up. Flicks it to Ake. Cody Gakpo very central at the moment. Simons trying to link up with Ake. Ake trying to go round. Walker does keep it alive. Gakpo in the box. Does keep the Dutch attack going. Cross comes in. The flick on from Ake. Sends it behind for the goal kick. That was great work from Nathan Ake. Somehow keeping the ball in play and getting his teammate Cody Gakpo on the ball. Couldn't do ultimately anything with it in the end, but the skill and the ability to keep it alive, well, it looked like it was going for a goal kick, was quite sensational. And now Pickford will take this kick. And that will be the end of the first half in Dortmund. 48 minutes down. At least another 45 to come. But if we can't find a goal in the second half, or if we stay level, we will be heading to extra time and penalties. They're there if necessary. Well, at the moment, they might well be necessary. The Dutch took the lead, but Harry Kane's penalty has England on terms. Half time in Dortmund. It's Netherlands 1, England 1. Analysis on the way next. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Euro 2024 live half-time in our second semi-final of Euro 2024. Netherlands 1, England 1, so level at the break. Very little between the two sides in that first half. I'd have to say England have probably edged it slightly on that front in the first half. They had that momentum. Getting that equalizer certainly helped them towards the end of that first half, but they grew into the game well, England. But the Dutch started the better of the two teams, and that's a good point to make and good point to start on. You know, we've seen England start well in games and kind of have that early bit of energy, but it was the Dutch that took the first shot of the game. And what a first shot it was by Xavi Simons, an absolute cracker of a goal. Nice combination down the right-hand side, and Xavi Simons bricking into the path. Well, wins the ball back off Declan Rice, gets into a bit of space, driving to the edge of the box, and just as he takes the strike, he slips. But that actually helps his technique because it kind of loops its way just over Jordan Pickford. It was full stretch, but the accuracy of the strike, maybe it wasn't intended, but it doesn't matter. The accuracy ultimately of the strike and the position that it ended up in saw the Netherlands take an early lead. It was a wonderful goal, and that was just after 7 minutes earlier than we saw the first goal last night, which came after just 9 minutes when France took the lead. But similarly, the Netherlands will be hoping they don't fall to the same fate as Les Bleus did last night when they did take the lead, France, but ultimately lost the game. At the moment, they're not losing the Dutch, which France were at half-time last night. At the moment, England's got back on level terms, maybe controversially so, with this referee having controversy for things given against Jude Bellingham's teams previously. Well, he might be under controversy for giving things for Jude Bellingham's team this time in England for this penalty. He didn't give it on the field at first look. VAR then recommended the referee, Felix Schweier, to go to the screen, the German referee, to go to the screen, quickly had a look at the incident and pointed to the spot. Now, initially, the whole moment was Harry Kane reacting to the loose ball in the box. Denzel Dumfries trying to cover across, putting his leg up to try and block it. And ultimately, as Harry Kane kicks through the ball, he kind of connects with Denzel Dumfries. And as Dumfries lifts his leg up, it connects with Harry Kane. And ultimately, Kane goes down wanting a penalty. The referee does point to the spot, and Denzel Dumfries gets a yellow card. And then the penalty is just fabulous from Harry Kane. The accuracy, the quality, the precision of that, the spot kick. You could put two goalkeepers in the goal and they wouldn't save it. Bart Verbruggen, full stretch, guessed the right way, but it was just the position of the finish inside netting on that left-hand side. A fabulously worked penalty. Harry Kane scoring his last 10 penalties now at international level. A fabulous record, and one he will look to keep going if this game does go the distance. Tonight he'll want to have that moment, but ultimately I don't think either side will be massively disappointed at half-time. I think maybe the Dutch could be slightly disappointed, but maybe they've probably felt that they should have played better in that first half. I would say England probably played the better football, looked the more kind of up for it in a sense, and looked the more cohesive, the more controlled. I've said it before, how England played much better against Switzerland, ultimately did go behind and got the draw and went through on penalties, and sometimes you need that in a game. Sometimes you do need those little moments, but ultimately honestly, I'd have to say that England have played the better football in that first half. They've had more shots, they've had more attacking chances, and we'll run through the stats for you in a moment. But on the basis of play, they probably deserved at least to be level England at half-time. The Dutch can feel pretty hard done by. They took the lead, but they didn't capitalise upon it. Which is crucial. It's important in these big games to really kind of solidify that lead. France couldn't do it last night, ultimately paid the price. We've seen multiple teams in the tournament take the lead, but not being able to kind of consolidate it and kind of solidify that lead and kind of settle the game afterwards. Kind of keeps it at a bit of a frantic pace and not able to kind of be composed and calm and keeping that lead. And they didn't play well enough ultimately in that first half. I think they were a bit standoffish at times. The Dutch, they were allowing England to push higher. Yes, that high press, fantastic from England, and I think that's been a massive improvement from the Three Lions. But ultimately, the Dutch not engaging enough. We've not seen enough, I think, of Cody Gakpo in that first half. I mean, he's been the best player on the field for the Dutch since the very first ball that was kicked in the tournament. He got the Netherlands' first goal of the tournament. Of course, that equalizer against Poland. So he's a key player, and we haven't seen much of him. I mean, he started on that left-hand side, well doubled up on between Kyle Walker and Saka, both interchanging and making those challenges, closing him down well. And then when they went to the 4-3-3, the Netherlands, they kind of pushed him more centrally, which I don't think is his best position. We've seen Gakpo at his best in this tournament, playing off that left flank, driving infield, causing defences issues. So far we didn't see that in the game, but also putting him more central will certainly not help him either in the game for the Dutch. So maybe a few things to figure out at half-time. But I mean, Phil Foden's had a wonderful first half. Let's just talk about that quickly. He's had a shot saved off the line. I mean, the dribbling, the footwork in the box. I mean, it's Lionel Messi-esque. If you can name anybody else, it's dribbling at its finest. Just tippy-tapper in and around the box. Just slaloming his way through players, wiggling through. And ultimately, the shot saved off the line by Denzel Dumfries, who took a wonderful touch, by the way, off the line. Then the other one, Phil Foden, hitting the left upright, similarly to Lamine Yamal's effort last night. Similar position, similar technique, just a different result, ultimately. Not enough whip on that one from Foden, that comes off the left post. But again, good moments for England. That's what I mean. They're having better clinical efforts, better kind of higher scoring, goal-scoring chance efforts in that first half, if you catch my drift. In that sense, they're finishing off their chances a lot better, and their attacking play is a lot more fluid, I'd have to say, in that first half. And that's why, at the moment, it is 1-1, but I would say England have been slightly the better team, ultimately. And we'll see if that bears fruit in the second half. I did make a note before this one. Of course, Bellingham, Foden, huge ball carriers. More service needed for Harry Kane. We've seen him win the penalty. Ultimately, I still think England need to tweak that left wing-back position. We've not seen the best of Kieran Trippier again in that first half. He's still not massively involved. That threat down the left is still a bit lacking from England. I think they need to fix that. Otherwise, I mean, it will cause an issue. They've got the quality off the bench. Luke Shaw came on in the last game. If you can get him on, get him on. If not, put someone that is naturally a left-sided player out there, because you need to fix that position. At the Netherlands, as I said, the defence looks more vulnerable on the basis of recent results and games. But of course, as I said, the difference in system tonight could be interesting. And so far, England maybe getting the better out of the Netherlands than the other way around. Right, let's run you through the stats quickly. I mentioned that England were looking the better of the two teams. They've had more possession. England 63% of the ball to the Netherlands 37%. They've had two big chances in that first half. England, they've had 7 shots. The Netherlands 3 shots. Verbruggen's made two saves. Jordan Pickford yet to make a save. The Netherlands have the only corner of the first half. England have way more passes, 307 to the Netherlands 180, so over 120 more passes from England in that first half. They're winning more free kicks. The Netherlands, the only yellow card of the first half, Denzel Dumfries with that one. England, 4 of their 7 shots on target. The Dutch, just 1 of their 3, which was their goal. Ultimately, England have had two big chances, as I said, but the Netherlands without a big chance, of course, in that first half, which probably proves it. Also touches in the penalty area, 15 touches for England in the Dutch penalty area. Netherlands 4 touches in England's penalty area, so contrast there. In terms of final third passing, England have entered the final third more times, and they've also been very accurate in the final third as well, more accurate than the Dutch. 95 passes, 78 out of those 95 were accurate from England, that's 82%. And the Dutch just 38 passes in the final third, 28 out of those accurate, that's 74%. Right, so it is Netherlands 1, England 1 at half-time. A big second half to come. Can one of these two sides eke out the victory, or will we be going the distance tonight in our second semi-final to see who will play Spain in this showpiece event in 4 days' time? Second half from Dortmund on the way next. Welcome back to Euro 2024 Live. Don't forget, on Sunday it is the live final, our final game of Euro 2024. Who will be our new champions of Europe? Will it be Spain, will it be Netherlands, or will it be England? We will find out this Sunday from 8 o'clock. We'll be live well before kickoff for the live build-up here on LFS. You'll get stats, analysis and previews ahead of that one. Plus, we will have live watch-along commentary and the full reaction from the final whistle on Sunday evening. That is this Sunday, and you'll not want to miss that. Certainly not. We don't know who it will be yet, but we're halfway to finding out, hopefully, as we are about to come out, the players about to come out for the second half, and it looks like Luke Shaw is coming on for England. And Kieran Trippier is not going to be coming back on, so that will be a straight swap. I mean, I'm not going to say that I mentioned it, but I did. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for 23,500. We're on the road to 24, maybe even 25,000. Great to have you with us, and appreciate each and every one of you watching. We do appreciate you getting involved and following us here on LFS and choosing us as for this live watch-along commentary. And also do follow us on socials, X, Instagram and TikTok. All the links and handles you need are in the live video description. Well, it's not only England that are making a change at half-time. Luke Shaw is coming on, but Wout Weghorst is also coming on for the Netherlands. And Donyell Malen is making way. So Malen off, Weghorst on. So I'm guessing Simons will go to the right, Gakpo out to the left again, and Weghorst through the middle. We'll see what way they make that adjustment. The Netherlands ready to go for the second half. A big next 45 incoming. Will we get it done in 45, or will we have to go the distance? England, in both of their previous knockout games, have had to go to at least extra time to secure victory. They could make a hat-trick of it to get to the final. Or will one of these two get it done in 90 minutes? The Dutch, the only team to qualify for the semi-finals from their quarter-final ties in 90 minutes. All three other quarter-finals went to at least extra time. So the Dutch know how to finish a job in 90 minutes. Whether that be winning or losing, we'll see. As Weghorst instantly involved there. Only on the pitch 44 seconds and already committed a foul on John Stones. England get the early free kick. It's going to be fascinating to see how England kind of adjust with Luke Shaw coming in. A more natural left-sided player. He does play left back. Can play left centre back as well. I don't know how many times he's played left wing back, but I'm sure he's much more used to that position or that area of the field than Kieran Trippier is anyway. A natural left-sided player that England have been crying out for. Well, that imbalance on the left-hand side being a real big problem for England. Of course, Luke Shaw made his first appearance off the bench against Switzerland, but he'd been injured all the way through up to this point. Gareth Southgate kept faith in the player that he would be fit to at least be involved at some point. That came true, but for a while there it looked like he'd made a real blunder in that decision, Gareth Southgate, in keeping Luke Shaw, considering he was injured, but could be huge. Speaking of, here is Luke Shaw. Instant left over the top, Bellingham to make the run. Well marshalled by De Vrij, who will get the goal kick there for the Netherlands. Great defending by Stefan De Vrij. Bellingham, well marshalled down that side. An instant from Luke Shaw there, getting a runner in behind, getting him involved. A glimpse of what's to come. Verbruggen. Virgil van Dijk. To Ake. Gonna chip it down the line too much. That from Nathan Ake. Nowhere near Gakpo or Weghorst. Came to Jordan Pickford as England recover the ball. Guehi. Stones. Guehi. Now Walker. Down the line to Kyle Walker now. Well closed out by Gakpo, but it will be an England throw. So throw in taken long. Saka to try and make the run in behind. Does cut the ball back. No one in the middle. Schoten to clear it away for the Dutch. Weghorst. Pass just a bit short to Simons, but dragged down there Xavi Simons by Luke Shaw. He will get the free kick. Yeah, just stepped across him there. Did Luke Shaw. There's a free kick. Nothing more, but Saka did fantastically well. The ball over the top to control that and get it back into the danger zone. Really well marshalled by Saka there. He's been arguably England's best player consistently throughout the tournament. Scored that goal against Switzerland that got them to extra time. Stepped up in the big moments and scored from the spot in the shootout against Switzerland. Rice. Closed out there by Dumfries, and Declan Rice will win the throw-in for England. Well, the last time these two met was in the Nations League semi-finals in June 2019, so 5 years ago, and the Netherlands winning 3-1 on that occasion after extra time in Portugal. Gareth Southgate, England struck first in that one. Marcus Rashford scoring from the spot. The Netherlands, who were coached by Ronald Koeman in his first spell in charge at that time, they levelled through Matthijs de Ligt. And then in extra time, Kyle Walker's own goal and a third from Quincy Promes secured a spot in the Nations League final for the Netherlands. England could get the revenge on that front, or can the Netherlands repeat their fate from a different tournament, albeit, but in very kind of scary circumstances, let's say. The Netherlands scored first in this one, and England scored first in the last one, but England got their first goal from a penalty. Was 1-1 heading into extra time before the Netherlands went on to win it. It was a semi-final of a major tournament, of a international tournament, sorry. The first inaugural edition of the Nations League back then. You never know. Never know. I mean, maybe I'm clutching at straws, but I mean, there's quite a lot of similarities there to this one already. Well, the team's 8 previous meetings before that meeting in 2019 were all friendlies. England won 1-0 in Amsterdam in March 2018. Koeman and Southgate both in charge again. Jesse Lingard's goal ended a 7-match run without a victory against the Oranje for England, where they had drawn 4 and lost 3 of their previous 7. So they have only won 1 of their last 9 against the Netherlands, England. So it's not a record that you would kind of say is promising. Very much not, but certainly not something that's kind of a confidence builder heading into such a high tempo semi-final, a high risk semi-final. But all that's out the window. It's about who performs in the night, and so far I would still say that England have been the better of the two sides, despite it being 1-1. Controlling the ball again. Guehi to Bellingham. Now Foden. Down the left to Luke Shaw. To go low into the box. Well blocked by Dumfries. Out for the England throw on the left hand side. Well, the last time Gareth Southgate actually beat the Netherlands was when he was a player back at Euro 96, when England won 4-1 in that one on match day 3 of the group. Alan Shearer scored 2, Teddy Sheringham scored 2. Patrick Kluivert got the consolation for the Dutch, but England progressed to the quarterfinals on that stage. That was the last time they can beat the Dutch competitively. And here comes Weghorst. Now Simons down the right hand side. Lays it back to Reinders, and Dumfries just sees it roll behind him as he charged forward there. Throw into England. Another moment coming to a pretty disappointing end for the men in yellow, or for the men in orange. Certainly not in yellow. Luke Shaw to take this throw in. Trying to find Harry Kane. We'll see now by De Vrij. Back to Shaw though. Takes it down beautifully, does Bellingham down the left hand side. Again trying to beat past Reinders. Just about gets the ball off to Mainoo. Again, great energy by the Dutch there, and Mainoo tried to dribble his way through. The ball just rolled across the touchline for a Dutch throw in there. Unfortunate there for Kobbie Mainoo. He has been a massive player in midfield for England. I mean, played an incredible part of the season for Manchester United in midfield and played wonderfully. Just the tender age of 19, but looks like a really well-educated, kind of experienced midfielder for such a young player in that role. We talk about midfield being one of the key components to the way a team plays and the problems and the issues that England have had in midfield at the start of this tournament, where Gareth Southgate was uncertain as to who was going to really be enough to take up that role. Kobbie Mainoo stepped in there and looks undroppable, really, in that role at the moment. Playing fantastically well. Verbruggen trying to dart it out to the right flank. Shaw involved a battle back, and Rice getting a touch on the ball. The last touch was a Dutch one. England get the throw again. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Netherlands 1, England 1. Netherlands taking the lead through Xavi Simons after just 7 minutes, and then Harry Kane just 11 minutes later, equalising from the spot. Walker, ball forward, took a deflection. Helped Nathan Ake in defending that situation there as it came off his chest. De Vrij to Dumfries. Into the path of Weghorst. Drops off his centre back. Now finds Simons. Look at the lift it round the corner for Dumfries, but well charged down by Luke Shaw, who tracked his man as England win the ball back again. That's the point what I made early in the game about England and their system. They look much more comfortable. They know exactly what player to track at any given moment, and not afraid to kind of follow them out of their natural position, shall we say, in terms of in that kind of 3-4-2-1. They're going to track their man and their runner, and they look comfortable in doing it at the moment. England, they look kind of really well rehearsed in those positions. Mainu, Rice. Whereas when they played the back four, England, it looked really kind of like they were going on an adventure every time they came forward. They had no idea where their last pass was coming, where they were going to create a chance. It was all kind of left up to the individuals. But with this system, the 3-4-2-1, you can see there's a real kind of intent to England's attacks. Every time they do come forward, they know where each player needs to be, they know what runs to make, and they know what positions to try and take up in the box. And I mean, it's marginal differences, but those little differences can be quite massive on the biggest of stages, however marginal it may seem. Walker try to cross it early, blocked by Ake. Mainu there, back to it, mop up again. That's another thing I would have to mention about England. Their ability to win the ball back quickly. You know, we saw they were a bit lazy getting the second balls at times, or loose balls in the early games of the tournament. They've been a lot more aggressive in their counter-pressing and their attempts to win the first and second ball, and not allow the opposition to free roam around them. The sustaining of possession is quite crucial. Walker tried to thread that one into Harry Kane's path, but Kane could go no farther. Then Stefan de Vrij there, who closed him down really well. Here's Bellingham. Luke Shaw. Back it comes to Mark Guehi. Have to say, Guehi, Stones and Walker, defensively they've been okay, but not been tested very much, and their involvement of the game minimal at the moment, mainly just passing around as Harry Kane goes down again wanting a foul, but referee says it was a clean challenge. Verbruggen receives it, knocks it long into the right channel, and the bounce to the ball catches out Dumfries. Ultimately, it goes for an England throw. Well, before that meeting in Euro 96, the team's only other previous Euros meeting had come in the Rheinstadion in Dusseldorf in the second round of group games at the Euro 1988. Remember that one? Well, I don't remember it. It's way before my time. But what I do remember is that the team that won that tournament in 1988 was the Dutch. Marco van Basten giving the Dutch the lead in that one a minute before half-time. Brian Robson levelled 8 minutes later for England. A team coached by Sir Bobby Robson. And Van Basten went on to complete his hat-trick in the second half to end England's hopes of progressing to the then semi-finals of Euro 88. And of course, we know the rest of the story. The Dutch went on to beat the host West Germany in the last four Ronald Koeman scoring the first goal from the penalty spot in a 2-1 win before claiming their only major silverware in a 2-0 win against the Soviet Union in the final. As they try and cross it in there, the Dutch. Weghorst was nowhere to be seen, and Veerman's cross certainly left a lot to be desired there. Far too much curl on that one, nowhere near testing anybody for either England or the Dutch there. An hour gone in Dortmund. There was a bit of worry about the rain before kick-off, of course. It's been very changeable. Dortmund's been the scene of thunderstorms, lightning, rain, all the drama. Last night I witnessed a bit of thunderstorming from one of the clips that I saw. And then earlier on this evening, before kick-off, there was quite a heavy shower that lasted quite a while. Fortunately, that hasn't caused any further issues. Remember, we did have a game in this stadium suspended for about 25 minutes earlier in the tournament in the round of 16 between the hosts Germany and Denmark. Remember that one? Where we did have a bit of a delay through the thunder and lightning that night, causing a health hazard, a health and safety issue for the players on the field, and we had a bit of a delay. Luckily, at the moment, the weather not affecting this game at the moment, as the Netherlands win a free kick. England maybe slightly complaining on that one. Foden with Schoten. Schoten just getting held there by Phil Foden. That will be a free kick to the Netherlands. Well, it's quite nice. It's dried up in Dortmund. The weather, well, it doesn't look like it's going to change any time before the end of the night. So, a dry end to the evening. Your local weather forecast from Dortmund. But, I mean, we've become weather forecasters because it has been so changeable between the hot conditions and then those thunderstorms and very changeable weather from one day to the next throughout the tournament. It's made it even more intriguing. Dumfries to Schoten, trying to feed it down the line. Simons, but again too much and too close to Mark Guehi, who could recover comfortably there for England. Rice back to Guehi again. Could chip it forward. Maybe a bit too comfortable there from England. A bit complacent, and the Netherlands will win the throw. The Netherlands don't have a great record in Euro Championship semi-finals. They've played in 5 previous semi-finals at the Euros, and they only won 1 of them. And that one, of course, coming in 1988 when they won the tournament. But since then, they've played 3. They lost 2-2, drew 2-2 in normal time with Denmark for losing on penalties, 5-4 in 1992 when they were the holders back then. In 2000, they also lost on penalties to Italy after a 0-0 draw after extra time, and then lost 2-1 to Portugal in 2004. This is their first semi-final in 20 years, and they would love to get back to winning ways. They have a free kick here with a chance for Joey Veerman to set up a good opportunity in the box. Veerman. Referee sorting out 1 or 2 things around there. Kyle Walker and Virgil van Dijk, of course, very experienced Premier League defenders. Of course, Man City and Liverpool respectively. Joey Veerman, right-footed delivery into the box, all the way through. Van Dijk, big save by Pickford. Had to save it. That was a wonderful effort by Joey Veerman. Wonderful delivery. Flicked on and Van Dijk was in there. That is a committed one from Virgil van Dijk. He was being trailed around there and somehow he still got the shot off. Corner to the Netherlands after that Pickford save. Could just reignite them here. Veerman to deliver this one. Right footed, curling away from goal, and the header is over the bar this time again by Dumfries. got above Bellingham at the front post. I just saw that one spinning over the top. Might have actually come off Walker last there. Yeah, it might have come off Kyle Walker last. Well, close again. No cigar for the Aranja so far. 25 minutes or so of the 90 to go. 1-1. Remember, if it's level after 90 minutes, extra time and penalties are available for us. As Wout Weghorst is going to be penalised here for a collision with John Stones. And England will get the free kick. See it again. I mean, he does leave an arm out, but Weghorst is just battling with John Stones there. I think that's harsh. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other there, really. Well, you want to talk about bottling. I talked about how the Netherlands have won just one of their 5 semi-finals. One of those was against 10-man Italy in the 2000 semi-final in Amsterdam. They were the co-hosts, Netherlands, in that tournament. They missed 2 penalties in normal time and 3 more in the shootout, which saw them head out of the tournament. I mean, that is quite sensational. To miss 5 penalties in one game, 2 in normal time and 3 in the shootout, to see yourself go home. I mean, that's, as the co-hosts, I mean, that's the definition of bottling the big moment. And of course, lost in a shootout on their home turf last time out, back in 2021, in the final against Italy. So Italy, maybe the bogey team, as we say, for both of these sides over the years. Although England have probably broken their duck against Italy in recent meetings. Schoten. Decent spell this from the Netherlands. Ake. Down the left to Cody Gakpo. Lifting it into the box. Gakpo, the spinning ball! And Pickford has to palm it away, as there was 2 in orange threatening. And one of them, Wout Weghorst. The other was Denzel Dumfries, and Pickford took no risks. It was a smart to punch that one. Another Dutch corner. Again, that threat from Gakpo from the left flank. Just not got one idea in his locker. He can drive in field and take a shot himself, but he also's got that ability to whip a cross in and add threat for his forwards in the box. Gakpo's got that skill. Another corner for the Netherlands. As I said, decent spell this. Right hand side this corner. Will be an in-swinger. Alright, swinger, sorry. Veerman to deliver. Right footed. Whipped across. And the header from Ake is into the hands of Pickford. But the free kick had already gone the way of England anyway. See that again. It was Rice that was pulled down at the back post by Weghorst. I mean, I don't know what Weghorst is thinking there. He's got a headlock on Declan Rice. I mean, it's always going to be given as a free kick, and rightfully so. I mean, well, England have actually been in less Euros semi-finals than the Netherlands, of course. They've played in 3 previous. They've won one of those, which was last time out, en route to the final, obviously. Their only final in their history at a Euros. They lost their very first one, 1-0 to Yugoslavia back in 1968. Then in Euro 96, of course, on home turf, they lost on penalties to Germany, of course, so historically. 1-1 after extra time and 6-5 to Germany on penalties. And then they beat Denmark in extra time at 2-1 in Euro 2020. They actually came from behind in that one. Again, England against Denmark. That wonderful free kick from Mikkel Damsgaard at Wembley. Ultimately, England coming out on top. As Schoten give it away, but Rice That chip ball over the top was going to be threatening no one there, and Bart Verbruggen gathered comfortably. Harry Kane, who's scored that extra time winner against Denmark. Of course, he converted the rebound after his penalty has been saved. Of course, he's already scored a penalty in this one, and has already scored an extra time winner for England in this tournament. His 2 goals so far. Here's Xavi Simons. Trying to link it up with Reinders, just about getting it off. Gets it back, does Simons. Reinders. Just under 20 minutes to go. The clock ticking down. We're heading ever closer to maybe extra time, or even penalties. Well, that's still a bit away. Here's Ake. Van Dijk. On the turn was Simons. Back to De Vrij, who has to slide in and rescue that one. That's an awful pass by Xavi Simons. But ultimately, it's De Vrij the one that gets the free kick, and a yellow card has come in the way of Jude Bellingham, who's had history with this referee. And he gets a yellow card, does Bellingham. And he's now going to argue his case. I mean, again, yellow card maybe a bit harsh, but the follow-through probably from Bellingham gets him that. It's 50-50. It was an awful pass back by Xavi Simons. De Vrij had to rescue it. He did, and won them the free kick, but half a second later, and it would have been in England a big chance. Winning the ball back unnecessarily. It's one thing for the Netherlands. They can't become complacent. I mean, neither side can become complacent, to be honest. The way the Netherlands have had the possession the last few moments, the last 5 minutes or so, they need to, as I said previously, they need to build on that. They use it as a foundation and build on the already half chances you've created as of recent. But England at the moment, just holding in there. All that matters is managing that game, whether out of possession or in possession, making sure that the opposition don't find a way through. And so far England in this second half have done so. It's Kobbie Mainoo on the ball. Out it goes to Shaw on the left hand side. Rice. Guehi. Foden was brought down, but he's got back to his feet. The referee saw nothing wrong with the earlier challenge on Phil Foden. Referee's let a few things go so far this evening, to be honest. Bellingham. Walker. Down the right hand side is Saka. Maybe shows a bit too much to Nathan Ake, although Ake holding that well. Referee, I think he let that one go. We'll just have to say it again. Saka there. I mean, there's nothing in that. I think that's, again, England maybe just going to ground a bit too easily there on Saka. Ake just battling with him and winning the ball and defending it well. Of course, we're in a real battle throughout the Premier League season. There are two teams as Weghorst drilled to the floor. Nice ball in behind. Gakpo gets the brick of the ball. Great challenge, though, by Kyle Walker. That's fabulous. Gakpo was the threat, and he couldn't find a way through. Walker in his way as Bellingham can't keep the ball in play. Netherlands throw. To see this again, a nice ball in behind for Gakpo, and that's fabulous from Kyle Walker. He's got recovery pace of an absolute demon, and that challenge was fantastic from the Englishman against Cody Gakpo, who I said if he finds the net tonight, he will become the outright top scorer of the tournament, which I don't think anybody would have predicted before the tournament. No offence to Cody Gakpo and his qualities, but certainly had other players in our mind, shall we say. Here is Cody Gakpo. Reinders. Out to Gakpo again on the left. Saka covering in. Back to Reinders. Schoten. Back it comes to De Vrij. The Dutch maybe a bit too laboured there for a second. Here's Reinders though. Keeps them forward. Dumfries. As England readying changes on the sidelines. 15 minutes to go. Netherlands 1, England 1. Euro 2024 semi-final in Dortmund. Simons opening the scoring before Harry Kane levelled the game from the spots. Will we be heading to extra time? Or will the next 15 minutes give us a blockbuster finish? A major finale. Shoughton. Simons. Weghorst again trying to make himself a nuisance up front. Here's Dumfries. Squares it across back into midfield now for De Vrij. Shoughton. Simons to Veerman. Van Dijk. Certainly pushing up the field, the Dutch. They're in the English half. All of their outfield players. Here's Gakpo. Up against Saka. Cuts it back for Ake. Ake with a cross. Easily cleared away by Rice as Kane tries to battle, but Shoughton does well. And De Vrij goes back to his keeper. It's good recovery and good kind of hold up of the ball here for the Dutch at the moment. Good spell of possession. Certainly looked strong in the second half. They've got something in this, I'd have to say. They look a lot more well balanced, a lot better up front. The Dutch, since that half-time change when Weghorst came on, he gives them a focal point. They've got options wide where they can threaten. Massively, of course. Reinders. Okay. To Veerman. Spun out to the left-hand side. Here's Gakpo. Up against Walker. Gakpo chops in field. Right-footed delivery. It's shot. Simons into the hands of Pickford. Great cross by Gakpo again. Guehi tries to clear his lines. It bounces into the path of Simons. Strikes it into the ground. It bounces up and curls into the hands of Jordan Pickford. Decent effort. Decent chance. But again, coming from a Cody Gakpo cross. That threat from the wide area, something that the Dutch were missing early in the game. He's find that little bit of space, that little moment where he can get on the ball, Gakpo, and he can impact this game. There's Shaw there battling with Simons, winning the throw-in off Xavi Simons. Luke Shaw. And Ollie Watkins is ready on the sidelines for England. And Cole Palmer. Palmer, who scored the first of the 5 penalties against Switzerland. We'll see who those changes are going to be. I'm guessing Harry Kane will be one of them. With Watkins coming on, otherwise he'll go to front 2, but I doubt that. Weghorst, a bit wasteful there, gives it away. Rice in the middle. Bellingham, now down the left to Shaw. Shaw to lift it in, low. Van Dijk to clear it away. Back to Rice. Now Walker. Looking for options ahead. Has to spin back to Declan Rice now. England's turn to get a bit of possession. Scored around this time against Switzerland. That was the ticket to extra time. Here's Phil Foden. Breaking to the edge of the box. Out to the right hand side. The cut back. Saka! But the flag is up. The celebrations curtailed for England. VAR will have a look. But Saka. We'll see this again. Down the right hand side. He's miles offside there. Clearly offside is Kyle Walker. And the cut back to Saka, but I think he's offside there, Walker. Of course, VAR will have a quick look. And the decision is no goal. So the on-field decision they were given, put the flag up on the field, so it's still 1-1. And Harry Kane and Phil Foden will be coming off. Cole Palmer and Ollie Watkins coming on. So the England captain coming off. Ollie Watkins maybe to add a different dynamic up front for England. So that change is incoming for the Three Lions. Foden and Kane off, and Watkins and Palmer on. Can they add that extra bit of energy? Well, England have shown that they can get to that area and they can put the ball in the net. They couldn't keep themselves onside there, which was the problem. They're still very much alive, which will warn the Dutch, of course, because the Netherlands probably had the better of the possession, the better of the territory in the second half, I would say, maybe, especially in the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But England still showing they can threaten even without dominating the ball. Still 1-1 though, just under 10 minutes to go. Guehi, Kobbie Mainoo, back to Rice. It will certainly get the England fans up, that goal that was disallowed, even though it wasn't a goal ultimately. It will give them energy, it will give them that extra bit. Maybe the England players as well gave them that extra feeling. This is still very much in the balance and still very much within the realms of winning this game in normal time. Let's wait and see. Stones. Bellingham goes back to Pickford. Guehi. Bellingham. Cross now to Stones. Well, 8 of England's last 11 Euros knockout games have all gone to extra time. That's all of the last 4. They might keep that record ongoing, sorry. The Dutch win the ball back here with Reinders. Okay, to Jerry Schouten. Back it comes to Virgil van Dijk. On a knife edge, this. High pressured moments. Said it at the very start of the game. Who will stand up and be counted to deliver in these moments, to send their team to a Euros final? First one for the Dutch it would be in 36 years. That will be back-to-back for England if they can do it. That's a good combination down the left-hand side. Here's Reinders breaking into the box, squares it across. Weghorst in the middle. Blocked off well by Marquet. Fabulous defending. Ultimately, the attack from the Dutch looked threatening down that left-hand side. Reinders making that break, and Weghorst got in there, but that was great from Mark Guehi, throwing himself at it, blocking any sort of chance of Wout Weghorst getting something on that ball. And England recover. And a warning sign to England that the Dutch are still a major threat themselves late on. Ball long, ball forward. Stones over the top. Bellingham made the run. Bellingham there. Schouten holding the ball up for the Dutch now. Dumfries on a challenge by Shaw, and Bellingham back in there to win the ball back for England. Shaw, though, couldn't keep the ball, and the free kick will go England's way for a challenge in there on Luke Shaw. Or on Jude Bellingham. I'm trying to figure that one out. Oh, that was fabulous skill from Bellingham. It was on Shaw. That was wonderful from Bellingham, just showing us the replay of the lovely bit of skill. Oh, as the Dutch have a few bodies on the floor. Here's Simons now to try and conjure up a counter. Out to the left it goes. Gakpo takes it down. He's got Ake on the overlap. Gakpo goes down under a challenge and wins the Netherlands a free kick off Bukayo Saka. That's again really good play. Simons finding that ball out to Gakpo again, making himself a nuisance on that left flank. Drives infield this time and Saka just catches him. He tries to stride forward. And the Liverpool man winning the Netherlands a free kick and a yellow card coming the way of Bukayo Saka for his troubles there. It's Joey Veerman to take this free kick. Had an earlier free kick that ended up with Jordan Pickford making a save and a few threatening corners as well since he's come onto the field. Can he add to that already threatening tally? Veerman with the delivery. Van Dijk was there. Weghorst was too. And it will be a goal kick, I believe. I think Stone's got on that. Ooh, I think that's a corner. That's a corner for me. There's a yellow card come out as well in that rallying. And it was Virgil van Dijk that got the yellow card for telling the referee got the decision wrong. And he was right. It was a corner to the Netherlands. The referee giving the goal kick. It's enforced a pretty, well, not extreme reaction, that would be a bit overstating it, but a frustrated reaction from the Dutch captain. He wins the header from the goal kick as the ball comes all the way back to Jordan Pickford again as John Stones headed it back. 3 minutes of normal time to go, plus any additional time that will come our way. Netherlands 1, England 1. Bellingham trying to drive England forward. Not seen much of Watkins coming on. Here he is. Rice to Watkins. He's dropping a bit deeper there. Gay. Now to Walker. Finding right. Saka to chip the ball forward. Looking to find Shaw on the left. That's a lovely takedown by Shaw. Across the box. All the way through. Here's Palmer. Bar. Over the bar from Cole Palmer. Great from Luke Shaw. The switch ball from Saka was beautiful. Shaw took a deft touch with his left foot. That's the pressure on the left hand side that can give you that balance. Cuts it back into the middle. Couldn't find Watkins. It found its way to Palmer. Palmer struck it with his left, but struck it nowhere near the target. Goal kick. Again, another positive moment for England. We do have that poll in the chat. Who will face Spain in the final? At the moment, very, very tight. 47% saying the Netherlands, 53% saying England. So just edging it in England's favour at the moment in the chat. Great to have you all interacting. If you haven't voted, do put that vote in the chat. We will be closing that very shortly. So, do stay involved as England will get the free kick here. He took a few seconds to make that decision, the referee, which again gets Ronald Koeman all worked up. Mark Gahey there. Yeah, I would just argue a free kick there. Given away by Cody Gakpo. Well, 4 of the players on the field for the Netherlands all play in England at club level. Bart Verbruggen for Brighton. Nathan Ake at Manchester City, and 2 Liverpool players in Virgil van Dijk and Cody Gakpo. There are other players in the squad that also play at England. Mark Flecken for Brentford, the goalkeeper. Ryan Gravenberch also for Liverpool, and Mickey van de Ven of Tottenham. And those players that I've just mentioned are on the bench tonight. So quite a number of the Dutch players play in England with their clubs. A lot of players that did play in England previously. Gini Wijnaldum, Wout Weghorst, Memphis Depay, Daley Blind, Ian Matson, Steven Bergwijn and Donyell Malen all previously played in England. Here's Ollie Watkins. Oh! He's snuck it in. Ollie Watkins, the striker that England need in the dying seconds on the blink of 90. Could see England into their second Euros final back to back. And the Dutch re-encouraging their old hauntings at this stage. Netherlands 1, England 2 on the brink of 90 in Dortmund. The late show from England again. Could see Gareth Southgate's Three Lions face Spain in 4 days' time. The bench erupted, and Ollie Watkins, the clinical finisher, had an incredible season with Aston Villa. Lovely ball from Palmer into his path, and from a tight angle, it is an incredible finish. Sneaks it in the inside of the left corner. That's fabulous. Absolutely wonderful from Ollie Watkins. Question marks over Harry Kane, who did score in this game, to be fair. But that is huge for England. And this could be another chapter in this team's fairy tale story under Gareth Southgate. At times they've been criticised. At times they've been called rubbish. But they could have just nicked it at the death in Dortmund. It doesn't matter how you do it. But England could be heading to back-to-back Euros finals, when just 3.5 years ago even, they had never been in a Euros final before. And they're just literally seconds away, 2 minutes added on. We'll play over that. Substitutions incoming. And it's the English end of this stadium that has erupted. Still time, but you would be a real fool to bet against England now, you would have to say. They thought they'd scored the winner about 10 minutes ago when Saka saw his shot in, find the back of the net. But Walker was offside, and it's ultimately Ollie Watkins. As England making changes, the Netherlands also making changes. But really, it's all academic, because it's now down to the referee to blow that whistle to seal the deal for England. And that really could be the moment they have been begging for. They have been desperate for it, England. And it's now literally seconds remain. The Dutch throw everything at this. They have no time to waste now. England have all the time in the world. That's lovely from Declan Rice. And now England on the charge, wanting out another. Palmer. Well closed down. Shoughton. Trying to pop it forward as Xerxes. Well closed down by Conor Gallagher, who's just come on. 1.5 minutes over the 2 added. But of course we had the goal during a lot of that. I mean, it's anybody's guess as to when that final whistle will come. But when it does, those Three Lions and their fans will be roaring loudly in Dortmund and ripping the sound barrier. And the whole of Germany will hear their roars long into the night. Otherwise, although the Dutch are still pushing, lay it on. Gakpo, high ball into the box, flicked on back into the mix, but just too far away, as now Konsa will carry this one forward. Or Bellingham, sorry. And the challenge there will get England a free kick. Jude Bellingham off Joey Veerman. And that's fabulous from Jude Bellingham. We're waiting on it. High anticipation. This has been... wow. What a semi-final. What a set of semi-finals we've seen. That's it! They've done it! England are back-to-back finalists at the Euros. And Gareth Southgate's men have done it again. All the criticism, all the doubters silenced with their late show in Dortmund. Tears streaming from their faces in disbelief at how they've done it. They played a lot better tonight, and it is shown. Ollie Watkins coming on. We said players from the bench could make the difference, the impact, and Ollie Watkins has had one of the impact substitutions of the tournament. 91st minute winner sees England into another European Championships final. Southgate has his critics of maybe not playing the most fluid, most wonderfully attacking football, but what his teams do is they get the job done. By hook or by crook, they get their way through. Tears streaming from probably both sets of players, but at different feelings. England, tears of joy and elation. For the Netherlands, tears of ultimate frustration, disappointment. But it is England's night. Ed Sheeran celebrating in the stands there. And that is a wonderful moment. An incredible moment. A fairy tale moment. And England's, well, they have a realistic possibility of doing one better now. They've got the chance. They'll have hell of a task against Spain. But one thing they will have that they've had all the way throughout the tournament is the immense quality on the ball. And if they can deliver, it will go down in history. I just want to repeat, they had never been in a European Championships final before 4 years ago. They got to it on home soil in 2021. Lost to Italy in penalties, but it could be their retribution year, their revenge. They're into their first international major tournament final overseas, England. There are only two previous finals at a major tournament. Both came on home soil. They'll be hoping that maybe they can do it against the foes that they beat in 1966 on their turf, Germany. Fabulous from Ollie Watkins. England are through to the Euro 2024 final. Final score from Dortmund: Netherlands 1, England 2. Wow, what a set of semi-finals we've seen over the last two nights. Spain beating France and England getting it done against the Netherlands. Very closely fought semi-finals, but it's the two of the best have found their way through, Spain and England. France and the Netherlands probably feel a bit hard done by, but you have to deliver in the big moments. And the man that stepped up for England tonight was Ollie Watkins. I mean, the 16-year-old stepping up for Spain last night was some story. But almost a last minute, a 90th minute winner will be the headline. And it is confirmed then, as you can see on your screen, Spain will take on England in the Euro 2024 final this Sunday, the 14th of July, live on LFS. We'll have live watch-along commentary, live build-up to the game, previews, analysis, and all the build-up. Plus, we will have live reaction to the result from Berlin. Right, let's just show you then. We can see what the matchup is. Let's just show you how they got there. Spain beating Georgia and Germany, the hosts, and France to get to the final. England were regarded as the easier path to the final. They've probably done it the hard way. Extra time against Slovakia, penalties against Switzerland, and a last gasp winner against the Dutch. It is certainly one for a script of a Hollywood movie. But England will be hoping for the Hollywood ending to their already great build-up so far. So Spain and England will battle it out in the final. Will Spain make it 4? They've won it 3 times before. Or will England make it their first? They've won 1 World Cup, their only major tournament win in the country's history. And these new players are making history. They could go 1 step further than they did before and lift this trophy. But Spain will certainly be in their way. Spain against England, Euro 2024 final, as I said, Sunday from 8 o'clock. Well, that is it. 1 more to go. Down to 2. 24 teams entered the tournament, and we're down to our top 2. Spain and England. The runners-up of Euro 2020, England, through to the final again. Spain, the only team to win back-to-back in this tournament in 2008 and 2012, would love to add to that. Their teenage sensation taking on England's new era of a team that seem to just deliver. Well, join us on Sunday for that one. For now, we'll have live preview on the LFS podcast on Friday, building up to the final. Plus, we will have our match reaction. So if you missed the goals, my reactions to the goals, or any little bit of highlights from the game, that will be live on the channel a bit later on this evening. But for now, thanks for your company, and we'll see you on Sunday for the big one. Spain-England, the Euro 2024 final. See you then. Night-night.